Hi, I'm going to show you how to use the Endurance Scheduler that I wrote for automating the generation of schedules for your endurance events. All right, you can start by going to json.racing/scheduler. This will redirect you to a spreadsheet. It's a view-only spreadsheet, so you need to make a copy of it. You can do that by clicking this link here. So there's some instructions. There's some detailed instructions if you're really interested. And but yeah, let's go through it. All right, so this will take you to the screen. You want to make a copy, feel free to view the app script file. Everything about this project is completely open source, but there's a lot of script associated with it. It takes a little while for it to be copied. You see it spinning for a bit. And then once we get here, this is your copy of it now. Let's start filling it out. These are the two tabs that you're interested in, the configuration and roster. In configuration, you kind of set the overall settings. In this case, we're going to be doing the Daytona this coming week. So let's put that in. We're starting in the third slot, 1200 UTC. We're pretty slow in the LMP2. You don't have to be exact about these lap times. This isn't replacement for the SASSY's endurance spreadsheet or iRace plan or iPredictor. Any of those will be where you have your detailed schedule. This is really just to generate a who drives approximately when and what order and who's spotting and whatever. All right, the fuel tank size for our car is going to be 75. We're using about 325 and stopping for 130. So you can see this kind of shows you like, yeah, each stint is going to be around 40 minutes long, and there's going to be about approximately 37 of them. And then these options here are important. So in our case, we're going to be driving 2 stints in a row for each driver. That's what this setting means. Minimum rest per driver is once throughout the race, every member of the team is required to take this much rest. Make sure this number makes sense within the duration of your event. And then for maximum busy time, this is the number of back-to-back stints, whether the member is driving or spotting, that they're allowed to do before they have to take a mandatory rest. In our case, it's going to be 8 hours. So here you fill out your roster. In my case, it's going to be, let's see, I'm Jason. I'm in the Pacific time zone. I'm going to be both driver and spotter. We got Jeff, who's in Central, also driver and spotter, Alec, driver and spotter, and Kyle the Magic Man, also Central, driver and spotter. You can also set the driver that will be qualifying and driving the first stint. In our case, it's going to be Alec. If you leave this blank, it'll figure out who you want. I mean, it'll figure out the best person for that based on the schedule. So now we're going to click on this menu here. This menu didn't appear earlier. If you scroll back in the video, you'll see that it takes a little while for this menu to appear. This is because this menu is generated by the app script. It had to be loaded, started. It takes about 10 seconds. But anyway, it's available now. We're going to go ahead and generate an availability table, which is where we're going to fill out who's available when. And at this time, we're also going to be doing all the authentication. This part requires, it's once per copy of spreadsheet that you need to do this. So you see that it says authorization is required. And you pick the Google account that you're going to use. Now these app scripts are not part of the marketplace, and therefore you're going to get this scary looking warning. I may end up releasing this as a marketplace in the future if there's enough interest, but it's a big project to do that. So for now, just trust me, bro. Anyway, all the source and all the app script is completely open source, so you can review it anytime you want. All right, now we're going to go to the next page. And here is where the specific 3 scopes of authorization that we need. One is to view and manage the spreadsheets. That's basically this exact spreadsheet that's installed in every copy. Every time you make a copy, there's a new set of app script that's copied with it and a new set of permission. That app script can only talk to this particular spreadsheet. So that one we're cool with. Connect to external servers. Now, the actual solution part, the thing that solves the schedule, I tried to write it in JavaScript, but it was too slow, and the app script has a timeout of about 10 seconds, I think. So it was running way longer than that. It was running in minutes. So I wrote the solver in C++, and it runs in like a split second. But to do that, it runs in an external server, which I run. And the source code for that is also available if you're interested. Anyway, that's what this means. And then the third thing is just I need to be able to display some dialogues with some custom HTML, so that's what that means. Okay, then we hit continue. And now we're fully ready to go. The availability table has been generated successfully. You can see it here. And now you can go ahead and ask all of your drivers to fill it in, or you can fill it on their behalf. If you notice on the left side, everything is in UTC time, and it's just hours. It's not in stints. This is just hours. It should be very easy to kind of like think about this for the drivers. And also, if you hover over each one of these slots in the specific driver's column, it'll show the time in their time zone. So, for example, I'm in Pacific, so this is 4 a.m. in the morning, so no way in hell I'm waking up for this. So I'm just going to make myself unavailable because I'm lazy. And yeah, everybody basically goes through and says, I'm available, I'd prefer to drive here. The solver will take all of this into account. Let's make Alec prefer this slot. He's going to end up being the first driver anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Let's make him unavailable here. Okay, anyway, you filled this out, and now you're ready to actually generate the schedule. So here we go. So we're going to go and run the solver. And you can see it's running here. You can see that there's a little toast that comes up. And it's calling my server, and here we go. Okay, got a response back, and now it's generating a whole bunch of scripts. It generates a master schedule and then a schedule per driver. So here's a master schedule. It's color-coded by the colors next to the roster. And it has both drivers and spotters. These are the stint times. Obviously, these may change throughout the race or depending on conditions and time of day, but this is just gives you an idea of like what order the drivers are going to be driving and who's going to be spotting for who, all that kind of stuff. And then each driver gets their own little schedule that they can look at. This is in their time zone, and it specifies here's your resting, here you're driving, here's who's spotting for you, and then you're spotting for this driver, and etc. And you can basically share these with your drivers or cut and paste them into, iRace Plan or iPredictor or Sassy's Endurance spreadsheet, whatever you use to track the actual race. Hope you find this useful, and yeah, take care. Good luck this weekend.